So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next confederations. We actually got what, three confederations to talk about. We have Africa, CONCACAF, and we have UEFA. Let's we're gonna leave CONCACAF for last. Let's take a look at Africa. Seeing that we just had the African Cup of Nations recently concluded, let's take a look at Africa and discuss the final round. It shouldn't take us a lot of time. We should know exactly what's going on here. Round three, where there's 10 teams left. Double round robin, home and away. Winner takes the spot. So
Yep.
we're gonna discuss Africa here, and I know it's a touchy subject for you because your team Egypt are still in it, having coming off of a loss in the African Cup of Nations final. Commiserations to you and the team. It's gonna be a very tricky one coming up against the same team you lost to.
Right.
So look, let us scroll down here and let us take a look at the matchups that we have in the final round here. Football Pharaoh. These are some interesting matchups. So on next month, the 23rd, March Madness, the Wednesday, the aforementioned Wednesday, Mali versus Tunisia. Mali and Tunisia played in the Africa Cup of Nations, right?
Yes, they did.
And it was a controversial game where Mali won the game 1-0, and Tunisia, the referee blew the whistle early and things like that. I don't know what happened in that game. Heat exhaustion, they said the referee was suffering from. And we see a situation here where the teams meet once again, home and away. So the way we're going to be doing this, right, this is the same format that was used back in 2014 where Egypt won all their group matches and lost the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it could happen for some teams where they were immaculate in the group stage in the last round and come here and get knocked out. Look, Mali versus Tunisia. I picked Mali to actually make their debut at the World Cup, right? But this Tunisian team is a tricky team to play, though. They base their game on a very good defensive setup, and they're resilient, and they could catch you sleeping, get that goal, and once they get that goal, it's shut up shop. You're not getting in. So, do you see a situation here where Mali qualifies for the World Cup ahead of Tunisia?
Of course. I think of all the pot one teams, Mali should be loving this opportunity. This is a team that they've come up against before, and this is a team that they've beaten, and this is as good as it gets as far as their chances of making it to the World Cup for the first time ever. I mean, if they ever drawn with Senegal or Nigeria or even Algeria, they could have been significantly tougher. But I think Tunisia, they're always a thorn. They're always a very tactically disciplined team. They're always there or thereabouts in AFCON, even when they underperform. And they can go to sleep one moment, like you said, and then the next they can turn up to higher gear. Look what they did to Nigeria.
Yeah,
Going into the AFCON knockouts, and myself included, I thought, oh man, Nigeria, they look like the team to beat now. Tunisia said, "Oh, that's cute, yeah," and they just showed up, and Tunisia is they're always thereabouts, even when they're not the best team in Africa. They're still African royalty, and they have that experience and that World Cup pedigree. So it's going to be a tough tie.
indeed. So just a quick head-to-head for these teams, right? They've played 12 times. There's only been one draw, 6 wins for Tunisia, and 5 wins for Mali. This would be the first time ever they're meeting in World Cup qualifiers. Tunisia lost their last game against Mali in the Africa Cup of Nations. And the previous win for Mali came in 2016 and another one in 2006. And you have to go back 1994 and 1974 for those wins. So I think this is the ideal opponent for Mali in terms of them actually making their debut at the World Cup. And the last time Tunisia was actually involved in this type of World Cup format, you know what happened.
Yeah, they lost to Cameroon. Yeah.
Exactly, they lost. So I don't
Hmm.
think they fancy this World Cup format at all. So I'm gonna go with Mali. I'm gonna go with Mali for my early predictions. Unofficial prediction here.
Okay.
I will come back and do something for these matches, but I'm gonna go for Mali. I'm convinced by the talent and they have on display, and I think they could come even stronger here against Tunisia. But of course, never write off Tunisia. They might just be catching the flight to Qatar to make back-to-back World Cups as well. So I'm going for Mali here. Who you say you're going with again?
Oh, I never said.
Oh,
I'm
have
actually,
you
yeah,
have
I'm
you
thinking.
made up your mind there? No.
I haven't made up my mind, but an early prediction, I think Tunisia is going to shithouse it. I think we could see something like
Mm.
a 1-1 on the road and then a 0-0, and they take it on away goals or something like that, or maybe
Yeah.
like a one-goal lead on aggregate. Yeah, I think I love to see new teams in the World Cup, Dom, but just based on the gut feeling, I think Tunisia is going to steal it.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But I do think Mali. A lot of people did have Mali as dark horses to even win the Africa Cup of Nations, and they topped their group. With Tunisia in there, and they looked really really good at the tournament, and I would love to actually see them qualify for the World Cup. They do have a lot of talent. You know what I mean? Ibrahim Akone comes to mind. The Adama Traores, you see, and the Haidara Eves Bissouma. They have a lot of quality in their team, bro. You know what I'm saying? They do have a lot of quality in their team, and I think they'll be up for it. I would love to see them qualify. I need a new team at the World Cup, bro. I'm fed up with these old teams all again and again and again and again. I
I hear
want I
you.
want to see Mali do something, and I would love to see Congo DR do something. You see what I'm saying? But these teams have it stacked up against them. Look, we're gonna keep it moving. We still do have four more ties to talk about. Ghana versus Nigeria. Ghana came through in a controversial game against South Africa there, and the Black Stars disappointing in the Africa Cup of Nations, and we later got to find out that Nigeria was very disappointing after a very good group stage. And no, I don't. To be honest, I don't even know who to predict to come through this one. To be honest, but I must say that both teams are in a very difficult position as well, where they would be coming into this tie with new head coaches. I think Chris Houghton is the director and not the coach. I looked it up, and they have a guy by the name of Ado Otto in charge of the team. And for Nigeria, it's Jose Pesero taking over from Ego Voen, who obviously stepped down before he would have ultimately got sacked for getting knocked out there. And it teams are going into uncertain territory, in my opinion, seeing that new managers, they had poor Afghans, and we don't even know where this is going to go, to be honest, though.
Hmm. Yeah, Ghana had a disastrous AFCON, and even before that, they looked not convincing at all in the previous round. There are even some folks who think South Africa was a little hard done by in that final
Me,
game.
me.
Um, I do too. Yeah, I thought that was a very soft penalty given to Ghana. And Nigeria, if Nigeria is firing on all cylinders, they should destroy them, in my humble opinion. It's just that there's always that little bit of worry of inconsistency with Nigeria because we saw what they did in the group stages of the AFCON, and then they, came up against, albeit a not so.
Nigeria, right now on form are the favorites. But if
It's a
we do a
derby.
quick if we do a quick head-to-head search on these teams, Ghana versus Nigeria, Ghana has 21 wins. Nigeria got 10 wins, and there's been 18 draws. So
Wow.
it's in favor of Ghana right now. But I must say that in the last 20, let's say the last maybe about 28 years or so, going back to 1994, there's only been 3 wins from Ghana, which is crazy when you think about it. So most of their wins came early on in this rivalry in the 50s, 60s, 70s, where there's been quite a few draws since then, since the 90s, and Nigeria, has a lot of wins. Nigeria got 5 wins. There's been a couple draws, but I do fancy Nigeria, but the fact that they're going in with a fresh manager, it's like a coin toss here. This is a coin toss. In my honest opinion, this is a coin toss. But with Ghana, I don't think they don't have enough firepower. Nigeria got the firepower, but it's the inconsistency factor that's gonna set in for me. You see what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
I'm,
And
I'm still gonna go with Nigeria though. I'm gonna go with my original picks to make it very interesting. Football fair. All the teams that I picked to qualify for the World Cup are still in with a shout to qualify, which I'm very very happy about. So I'm gonna go for Mali and I'm gonna stick with Nigeria as well.
I'm going with Nigeria. Um, I think that also we have to consider the fact that this is a derby, and these are
Yeah.
two countries that have like a sporting and cultural rivalry, and that always adds an extra element of unpredictability to it. Both of these teams are entering these playoffs with new coaches. Jose Pizarro, like you said, taking over. That's a bold move from the Nigerian FA because I don't think Eguavoen did that poorly of a job, but he was set to be only a temporary to begin with, heading into the
Yeah.
AFCON. And Ghana, they sacked Milovan Rajevac. Um, but I think
Just
what you
after
said,
bringing him back too, which is crazy.
yeah. But I think what you said, the difference maker here is going to be in the goal scoring options, the sort of like reliable firepower up front. And Ghana,
And
the Ayu
yeah,
brothers are not cutting it no more. They're not cutting
yeah.
it.
And the thing is, Osimhen should be back for Nigeria. I think I'm not too sure though, but Osimhen, who missed the Afcon, should be back.
Mm.
I haven't really looked at what Napoli are doing lately. Napoli's doing good in the Serie A right now, but in terms of Osimhen, let me just do a quick search and see what's good. Yeah, Osimhen is definitely fit. So if he's fit and ready to go, it's gonna be very very difficult to beat that Nigerian team though. Who I think they missed Osimhen big time. He's emerged as one of the better players in Africa. So
Hmm.
I think Nigeria takes it.
Me too.
And they will hope to avoid Argentina once again at the World Cup. I don't know how. Always draw Argentina, man. Look, I'm not going to get into this one just yet. We're going to talk Congo DR versus Morocco here. I'm going to skip the Egypt Senegal right now. Congo DR versus Morocco. We know Congo DR missed the AFCON. Morocco, they did okay. They did okay. They had their moments, but ultimately got knocked out by Egypt. And they faced Congo DR, who once qualified back in 1974 as the nation of Zaire. And there's a pretty good story surrounding that whole World Cup qualifying campaign and everything. Some crazy things happened at that West Germany World Cup of 1974. So, yeah. Talk to me about this tie. What are your initial thoughts on this tie?
For me, this is the easiest tie to call. I favor Morocco. I think that just on paper they're just way more talented. I think they have more depth than the DR Congo. This was the team from pot two. I think they might have wanted to get most. DR Congo, as you know, they missed the last AFCON. They didn't even participate. That could provide a little bit of incentive for them to go out and make a statement and make it back to the World Cup. First time in over 40 years. Fun fact: Hector Cooper is in charge of them, former Egypt manager.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, what's really interesting with Morocco is that I know that Hakim Ziyech, he had some issues going on with Vahid Halilhodžić. He wasn't called up for the AFCON, and there was a bit of bad blood between them. And I read a few days ago he was thinking of retiring, something like that, or he announced his retirement from international football.
Who Hakim Ziyech? Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
I,
but like,
I think I think these little rifts could end up being very very costly in the end. Another
Sure.
player who wasn't called up to is Mazraoui, Nusaya Mazraoui from Ajax. He wasn't called up either. And you have Ziyech. I think Ziyech makes a big difference in that Morocco team. Interestingly, though, not Egypt, Morocco and Congo DR have met each other 3 times. There's been one win apiece and a draw. And the most recent meeting in the 2017, the most
AFCON.
recent,
Hmm.
official meeting, they've only met in one competitive game. Congo DR won that game.
Hmm.
And the recent meeting, it was a international friendly. It is a 1-1 draw. Morocco did beat Congo DR back in 2006 in an international friendly. Right now, I think the head-to-head is favoring the Congo DR right now, and you can't write them off. The thing is, during qualifiers, they scored some scrappy goals with Mbokani, you know, scoring a couple of good goals there. They do have some quality. Masuaku could come in, you know what I mean? Yannick Bolasie, Cedric Bakambu is playing in Europe again, in La Liga again. They do have some players, Bolingini. They do have some good little players. Like I've seen a new defender on on Atletico Madrid's radar the other day. There's a lot of players. There's a lot of little players there that plays in Belgium as well, and they could be a tricky team to face here. Let's not write them off completely. You see what I'm saying? Because we see situations in the past where teams, and we notice teams don't qualify for the AFCON, but yet they're in the damn World Cup qualifying final stages. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And teams go into AFCON and flop and go in the World Cup qualifiers and do well.
Yep.
So this one, I think, is a tricky one because Morocco, they do have the X factor in Hakimi. You see what I'm saying? Enezairi and co. But it could be a tricky one. I do fancy Morocco. I did pick them initially. I think the quality will be the telling factor in the end. But Congo DR would fight. I don't think they'll be pushovers at all.
Not a single one of these ties is going to be straightforward.
Yeah, I would I would love to see Congo DR beat Morocco and get in. Just because freshness. That's all.
Yeah.
Nothing against Morocco, just for freshness purposes. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think Morocco would ultimately qualify. What about you?
I do think Morocco will ultimately qualify. With this format, a lot of things are really up in the air, and there's a lot of intangible factors. Wouldn't be honestly, if we're doing early picks and such, I wouldn't be surprised if I get like 4 out of 5 wrong. I would not be surprised.
Yeah,
I think any combination of these teams can qualify.
This is going to be a very, very tricky one, though. So we're going to move into the other one, which is very, very difficult as well, and it's Cameroon versus Algeria. 2 teams that failed to make it to the last World Cup, and one of them will be back. But who would it be? Would it be the 2021 AFCON hosts, Cameroon, who were very impressive during the tournament? Or would it be Morocco, Algeria, the defending champions, who actually flopped at the Africa Cup of Nations? Talk to me about Algeria. What happened, man? What happened to Algeria, though?
I'm not quite sure. They were on something like a 33 or 34 match unbeaten run heading into that. They just fresh off winning the Arab Cup. I think maybe a little bit of comfort or complacency got to the players' heads because I don't think Jamel Belmadi is I think he's a proper coach. I think he understands his players well, abroad and domestically as well. I think maybe they just underestimated the competition with Equatorial Guinea and Sierra Leone the way they did. And I don't know how this is necessarily going to carry over into March, but I think it has blown this tie wide open if you look comparatively to how Cameroon had been. What are your thoughts? What do you think happened to Algeria?
I think it's just what we've seen happen to previous World Cup winners. They go into the tournament, they fancy their chances, and they get stunned.
Yeah.
Teams just go up against them without any fear, and they end up getting good results. Because I fancy this Algerian team to probably go on to win the damn thing again, and they got knocked out in the group stage. So I was like, wow. Do you know what's interesting? Cameroon have only lost once in their history to Algeria. One time.
I did know that. Yeah.
One time.
Once.
And the fact that Cameroon are on absolute fire right now in terms of the football they're playing. You know, Abu Bakar, Carl Toko Ikambi looks good. Michael Gamilo on the wings, he looks good. This team is going to be hard to beat. I just want to put it out there.
And Cameroon, because penalty shootout losses don't get officially recorded as losses, even after this last AFCON, they have not lost a competitive game on home soil since 1973.
God damn.
I'm just going to say this up front. I have Cameroon qualifying.
God damn. I don't have Cameroon qualifying for my official pick, but we could see a situation where Algeria failed to rebound from their African Cup of Nations collapse, and they find it hard to. Not even a spatula could scoop them up off the ground right now, because they fell really hard and they fell flat on their faces. And Cameroon is not the team you would want to meet right now.
No.
They're not the team. With Onana in goal, he's doing well. The defense, the thing about the Cameroonian team, they look very assured in that. I think the manager, Tony Conceição, knows his best 11. He knows. But for Algeria, there'll be so many doubts because of what just happened. They would need some big performances, man. This team is way too stacked up for to be casualties of what happened at the AFCON, and they could definitely miss the World Cup again. Miss the World Cup again.
And I think what will be interesting to see will be how they respond, because it could end up being the case that them getting humbled by vastly inferior opposition in this last tournament could wake them up, so to speak, and it could be proved to be a blessing of sorts.
Yeah, but it could also be a situation where their confidence could still be shattered, and there'll be doubts. There will be doubts.
Sure.
And the record against Cameroon isn't a good record at all. And look, I don't like to be the one to turn around, my predictions, but Cameroon are the favorites here, in my opinion, to qualify for the World Cup again. So I think we both settled on that one.
I'm back in Cameroon. Yeah.
So we got one more to talk about, the big one, the elephant in the room, Egypt versus Senegal. Oh man, Egypt versus Senegal here. Bro, what are your thoughts on your, briefly, not to be super long, but in a minute, what are your thoughts on your Africa Cup of Nations campaign?
Mixed. I knew from the beginning we had the means with which to make it to the final.
Yeah, you did. You actually told me you think the team could actually win it, and you were on point with that.
And the way we did it was not flashy. The group stages were very disappointing, even the wins against Guinea-Bissau, Sudan. Knockout stage, I give the team a little bit of a pass because of the route we had coming up against Morocco, Ivory Coast, the host nation Cameroon. It's mixed. I'm proud because I think Egypt did dig in deep for a lot of those games, especially that quarterfinal against Morocco. I said on my channel, that's the turnaround was the best I've seen Egypt play in quite a few years. And the way that we pushed Senegal to penalties down, all the way down to the wire, when things could have easily turned ugly for us if Mane had converted this penalty early on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That the floodgates could have opened. I think that the fact we were able to push them as far as we did, despite the fact that Senegal themselves didn't really come up against any powerhouse at that point in the tournament. You look at their route compared to ours. I feel proud, and I think that you mentioned earlier in the stream if Kuros was there, maybe things could have been a little bit different. Who knows? But Senegal, of course, they were the better team. They deserve to win. They're the best team in Africa, and this is the toughest tie I think we could have gotten. Um, I mean, do you want to hear my thoughts on like early pick, or what else? What else do you want to hear?
Well, no, just that was just to start it off. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
sure. Yeah.
But in terms of the World Cup qualifying here, for Egypt versus Senegal, Egypt head-to-head 6 wins, 2 draws, 5 losses. The AFCON final does count as a loss, even though officially, it ended in a draw, but it does count as a loss because it's a final. And Egypt have actually lost their last 3 games against Senegal, which does not actually look good. It doesn't look good at all. Ever since that Africa Cup of Nations win back in 2006 there, Egypt have failed to beat Senegal, where they have met in the Africa Cup of Nations. I think that was qualifying back in 2014. Let me just make sure I'm getting that one right. Yeah, that was qualifying for 2014 and the final here for 2022, labeled the 2021 AFCON. Football Pharaoh, bro. Just it ain't looking good for you guys, man. It ain't looking good at all because this Senegal team, bro, under Aliou Cisse, you gotta remember, Carlos Queiroz just appointed. He doesn't even know his best team. But for Aliou Cisse, this man has been at the helm for 8 years. This is very rare for African football. These guys sack managers for fun, and for him to be at the helm so long, make it to back-to-back AFCON finals, took Senegal back to the World Cup. He knows his best team. He knows his players. A lot of these players he have worked with for the past 8 years. Carlos Queiroz, he don't know anything about these guys. He's just learning. He doesn't speak the language. For Aliou Cisse, he's been there, done that, played for the national team. And it's nice to see a local African coach actually doing well with the national team as well. Because most of the times you find you have, European managers being brought in or managers from elsewhere to get the job done. So you got to give Senegal a lot of praise here for sticking with Aliou Cisse for so long. Even though he's come under a lot of criticism, he deserves it, man. You need a lot of patience in football, and I think they have been patient. And with the disappointment of 2019, they came back even harder in 2022, and their defense looks impregnable. What? They conceded just a few goals at the tournament, right? I think one I can't.
In the AFCON.
Yeah, in the AFCON. Not.
They conceded 2. I think they conceded 1 to Equatorial and then 1 to Burkina Faso.
But the thing is, Abdou Diallo and Koulibaly, they look so good at the back there. And Saliou Ciss, he looks ageless as well. And you have Bounassa, who's been definitely a revelation. You got to give him a lot of credit. He slotted into the Senegalese team very well. And then you gotta look at the midfielder of Mendy and Kouyaté. This team is, you have Mane, Sarr, you have Jeju, or if you want to put Boulaye Dia and Bamba Dieng. Oh my goodness, this kid is nice. Idrissa Gueye as well comes to mind. This team, football for to be honest, it's gonna take a lot for you guys to beat this team.
It's going to take a lot. I mean, you even go back to the last World Cup. Senegal were the best African team in that World Cup, even though no African team advanced ultimately.
Yeah, yellow cards, right? Ill discipline. It was so weird how they got knocked out too, right?
Yeah, and despite the fact that Senegal did not have a spectacular AFCON for the most part this year, they still got the job done. And they went on. They reached back-to-back finals in a 2014 tournament. And I think that, Aliou Cisse does get a lot of credit. He knows his team more intimately because he's been there for as long as he has. And, going through every area of the pitch, the depth that you just described, I think it's going to be tough. But, I think the final that we gave them in the AFCON, I think we're going to make life hell for them too. I think that it's going to be difficult. The thing with Kirosh is I was skeptical when he first came in because I thought that sacking El Badri was a very risky move midway through the last round. But almost right off the bat, when he came in, I think we started seeing a sort of proactiveness in attack. We started having more goal scorers emerge, other than Mohamed Salah, like Marmoush and Mustafa Mohamed, and compared that to the previous World Cup qualifying cycle of Hector Cooper. I don't know if you knew this, but Mohamed Salah played a role in 100% of all of Egypt's goals back in 2018 World Cup qualifying. He either scored them or he assisted them. It was that, you know.
But do you think? I think right now with Egypt, it's a situation of getting Salah involved. I know Salah did play a big role as well, assisting and scoring in the games where Egypt did play well.
Sure.
But for the last few games, I don't think, especially the final, Egypt did not get Salah involved enough,
I
and
agree.
I'm worried about the supporting cast. I really think Gabaski stepped up, and I think he should be the goalkeeper here once he's fit. I think it will be a mistake to play Shinawi if Shinawi is fit.
Agreed.
I think it will be a big mistake to play him in those games. I think Gabaski is the man with with the recent Afghan experience and the belief that he has in himself right now. He has to be the man in goal. But the question is, can Salah get the better of Mane and Co this time? I think for Mane, he has more players actually supporting him. If Mane doesn't do the job, Bamba Dieng, then there's Ismail Assar, who's another live wire. You know what I mean? They have goals from midfield as well. Whereas for Egypt, it's Salah and the supporting cast. Trezeguet coming off the bench looked very lively, as you mentioned. Marmoush, Mustafa Mohamed, Abdel Momen, is a player emerging as well from the back. But I just think they need to have Salah involved. If they give Salah more opportunities, then it could be a different situation. But I just think Senegal is just going to be way too much, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm curious as to how Kirosh is going to approach that first leg in Cairo because he could mimic what we did in the AFCON here, the way that we set up here and try to stifle Senegal and to drag the game on as long as we could. Or if he'll try to do a 180 and sort of like try to pounce early on, catch Senegal off guard, and then bunker in after that. I gotta be honest with you, and this is not just me, being Egyptian and being biased, but like I think Senegal are the best team in Africa. I do think they deserve to win. You can only beat what's put in front of you. I'm not particularly. I'm impressed by their talent. I'm not impressed with their performances, and I think in the AFCON they were a little bit lucky getting the path they did.
But Football Pharaoh, we saw what France did at the World Cup. Not impressive at all. And they still went on to win it. You see what I'm saying? We saw that. We saw that. But there could be a situation where the most recent AFCON champions do not qualify for the World Cup.
Yes.
And that's the crazy thing about Africa.
And I was going to mention that as well. Did you know 7 of the last 8 AFCON winners did not qualify for the World Cup?
Well, Cameroon back in 2017, they didn't make it for 2018. The Ivory Coast, they won it in 2015. They didn't qualify for 2018. Zambia, 2013. What? They didn't qualify. They never qualified for the World Cup. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Egypt, they won it 3 times. What? 2006 to 2010 didn't qualify for 2010, nor 2014. So, yeah, definitely a situation that we could actually see. But for now, with the form that Senegal is showing and the talent, look, if Mane misses out, Senegal still looks good. If Salah misses out, then Egypt are pretty much screwed, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're in trouble.
You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, before we do move on to the next confederation, that would be Europe, who do you think you guys would go through? I know your heart says Egypt, of course, but who do you really think? You know what I mean?
Who do I really think?
Yeah.
I actually genuinely think there's balance in the universe and we're going to qualify.
Oh
I
my
actually think.
God.
I actually think that. And no, I think that. I think I would not. I don't want to play these guys. I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to play these
But you
guys.
think you guys are gonna shithouse and win it?
What the two-legged tie? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Hand to God, like
Uh-huh.
I genuinely think we're going to come through this, and I accept we're not favorites. I
Yeah.
think it would be delusional to say that it's 50-50. It's not 50-50, but I think we're going to come through. I do.
I think we're gonna see a situation. From my opinion, I think we're gonna see a situation where Senegal takes the spoils here for the AFCON and the World Cup qualifiers. That's just what I think. I did not have Egypt initially qualifying. Whether they played Senegal or whoever, I didn't pick Egypt to qualify. For some reason, I just didn't feel Egypt this time around. You're my boy, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
I
you
get it.
I can't jump on the Egyptian bandwagon here this time around, man. You know what I'm saying? But if
After,
but if you guys do qualify, congrats, and you do have a chance of making it. We know
yeah,
that.
yeah, of course. The AFCON finish gives me some hope, and as well as Senegal not performing their best at all. But you know what? Hey, Senegal could turn it up a notch, and they could beat us like 5-0 in aggregate, for all I know, or something like that. They could explode in
Yeah.
that first or second leg. But if going off the AFCON, like they're slugging it out with Malawi and Zimbabwe is any indication, that gives me, it gives me more hope. And
But then again, Senegal was affected by coronavirus, so.
they
But
were.
yeah, but I'm telling you, bro, this team with Koulibaly, man, this guy Koulibaly is on a whole nother level, bro. You know what I'm saying? This guy's on a whole nother level, bro. I'm telling you this. Once you see Man City wants you, you're on a whole nother level, bro. I don't see Egypt beating Senegal. But we're gonna leave it right there. We'll talk again about that in the future. And that's Africa for you guys. And what we're gonna be doing, we are gonna move right on. But before we do you have any final thoughts on the Africa Confederation? Anything else to add?
I hate this format. I hate it to hell and back. Hopefully, they go back to the 2018 format for 2026. Yeah, Africa is really it's very volatile, and case in point, I think you and I we only agreed on like two of those five spots. It really can go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised to see any combination of five teams qualify. Um, the margins are just so slim, and it's just it's a crapshoot basically. But
That
yeah,
Definitely, man. So may the best teams qualify, and we shall find out in March. So we're gonna move on to UEFA, which we still have.